name is Betül Tatar. I'm from Turkey. I learned that you have some representatives in the universities in the US and Canada for the Eyes on Africa Foundation, and I would like to learn how these representatives take action to inspire other younger people to make change.
Absolutely. That is one of the coolest things about Eyes on Africa, I think, is that we have what we call the campus coordinator system. So it's basically, there's over 30 of them right now, and like you said, yeah, they're in Canada, America, Mexico, Tanzania, South Africa, Australia, just all over the world, really. And the way that you get involved is basically you just send an email and say that you want to get involved. But people are doing different things. We have runs. We had a run in Texas. We've got one coming up not too soon. We had a concert in Canada. Gosh, we do things all over the world, but it really is something that, you know, people make their own, which is so great about it. You ask to get involved, and then, you know, if you just want to spread out materials, if you want to take a couple shirts and sell them to your friends, that's pretty cool, because then there's Eyes on Africa shirts walking around Australia. But, you know, it is something where we need money, we need support, we need awareness, just for the causes that we have. You know, it's just really a personal thing for each person, and it's a great thing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
They fail to have what is the courage to start any foundation or even join a foundation, even after they find out what they have to do. So how did you get your courage, and how did you get this off the ground to start Eyes on Africa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it being a question of courage is probably the first problem. I think it's like I said, sort of an obligation. You know, if you're thinking about it as, I'm not sure if I can do this, I don't know what the first steps are, you probably already made your first mistake. The thing to do, I think, is just to realize, get passionate about something, realize the cause that you feel you can make a difference in, and you feel that a difference has to be made in. And once you realize that, I think that it just comes natural. You know, you reach a barrier, and I reach them all the time, where you're really awkward. You know, I just turned 21. I'm not suddenly like really boisterous and ready to go knock on doors and talk to everyone about fundraising. You're super nervous about every single step. But I just think about the little kids that I'm helping, or whatever the cause might be. I mean, if you're doing a canned food drive, think about that it's going to be a cold winter, and the food that you provide for these people is going to save their life. So it's the motivation that you get from thinking about your cause. And as far as the first step goes, it's just a grassroots thing. You know, you are passionate about it, you get your best friend in there. And even if they're really reluctant and they don't really know what you're talking about, my friends have never been to South Africa, several of them. But, you know, they know that I'm all about this, and this is what I talk about with them, and I love it, and they love that I love it. And they want to get involved, and I think that's how it starts. It's just a grassroots networking effort. And you can raise money, you can get support, you can get volunteers that way, and before you know it, you're up on stage talking about it.
Hi, I'm Tony Kruger. I'm from Namibia.
Oh, great. I was just there 3 weeks ago.
I was just wondering if you're going to carry on the program when you graduate, or you're going to hand on your legacy to someone else, and if you're planning on expanding it to other countries.
That is a great question, because that's exactly where we are right now, is answering that question. So this trip that we just took was a little bit of a different trip for us. Usually we take huge groups of volunteer, and we just spend all of our volunteer hours and our money. And this time we took key people. So we took like the president of Notre Dame, which is the school that I go to, along with us. And we were really trying to figure out what is the future of this organization. Because what we've done so far is pretty cool. You know, we've done some cool things, and we've raised a lot of money, and that's great. But it sort of comes down to, so we've raised all this money through grassroots efforts, and whenever people say, oh, I want to build a medical clinic, we say, oh great, well we're going to build a medical clinic. And then people say, well what does Eyes on Africa do? And you give them a paragraph response, and it's, well we build medical clinics, and we do HIV testing, we do this, we do this. And really this trip was about building our 30-second elevator speech, which is like, if you meet someone, what are you going to tell them that's going to sell them on the organization? And it's figuring out that future for Eyes on Africa. I would love to continue Eyes on Africa after I graduate, but it's just figuring out that capacity, and we definitely are now. You know, it was a complete success. The people that we brought along with us are going to carry on Eyes on Africa, you know, with or without, and I'm going to be a big part of that. So yeah, it's definitely going to continue on. And then as far as your next question for, you know, countries, other countries getting involved, the only way that's going to happen is through knowing people from other countries. So right now, we are a largely United States-based organization, and now we're growing in South Africa because that's where we do a lot of our work. But it takes people who want to get involved in those other countries. So that's probably how I'd answer that one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey. I'm from Malaysia. And first of all, congratulations. This is actually very inspiring because it's the exact kind of work that I want to do. And I just wanted to know about the very practical logistics of it. Like, how do you start it? I mean, do you just start asking your friends for $5 and then how do you find the caravan and where do you start this? And I just want to know about the practical logistic aspects of it.
Okay, well I can give you my answer. There's definitely not a piece of paper with step 1 of starting your own organization. Trust me, I've looked everywhere. It does not exist. So for me, I got that, and it really started with, wanting to do something. So I had a cause in mind, Seeing these orphan children for me was the big spark, and we've expanded beyond that now, but that's what I wanted to help. So figure out what you want to do. And it can be a big idea, a small idea. Honestly, it doesn't matter because the people that you're going to start out with are your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your best friends. You definitely know, some big up people in your community or whatever. Those are your first targets. So now you've got a project and your first targets at least. And I would say for us, one of the very first steps was becoming, in America, it's a 501c3, which is the official government nonprofit organization. So we just became an NGO. So we got our tax exempt number, which means that people can donate to you, and then they get to write it off on their taxes, which is huge. So that's something, you can definitely get $5 from your neighbors and make a huge change, but if you want to get $5,000 from your neighbors, they want to write it off on their taxes. That's sort of just an unfortunate truth about the world. So that would be step 1, I guess, would be figure out how you can become officially part of the government. And it's super easy. It's not a hard thing to do at all. There's a lot of paperwork, and you have some phone conversations walking down to class or whatever with the IRS in America where you're yelling at them and they're yelling at you, and it's hilarious. It's way over your head. But in the end, everyone wants you to help. And so the IRS here worked with us like crazy so that we could become a 501c3. And I'm sure you'll find the same thing. You go there and you're young and you're passionate and you say, I really want to do something good. People are going to help you like crazy. If you know a lawyer, they'll help you with that. If you know someone involved with the government, they'll help you with that. Everyone, donors, people, administration-wise, everyone wants to help you. Because it's so cool that they're seeing someone young who wants to make a change. Because unfortunately, it's rare. We're worried about, I don't even know, when we sell Girl Scout cookies here, the people are really nervous to go do that. So we're really nervous about our own lives. But when you get out there and you see just the problems of the world, and you don't even have to go out there. If you just open your eyes to the problems in your own community, you are suddenly way less nervous about a test at school or something like that because you've eaten in the past 48 hours and you know that even if you flunk that test, you're going to go back and you're going to sleep in a bed, which is more than most of the people in the world. So you are extremely lucky, and I think realizing that gives you that fuel to go out and get help from whoever you need it. You don't have to be the person who's got all the connections, you just need to know someone who's got some connections. But, for us, it started with setting up a board of directors, getting people who wanted to be involved, and then setting it up from there.